Welcome back to Reach for the Clicker podcast. I'm your host Dante. We're with Jay.
What's up?
And we're about to take on another magical journey down the rabbit hole. We're going to be two casting this episode. Jay, how you been, man?
Been all right, man. Living life, trying not to, collapse under this overwhelming thing that is COVID.
Understand.
But other than that, it's great.
For me, escaped the destruction left by Godzilla out there in Pensacola, Florida.
For real.
It was a mess. The highways, the roads were just a mess. Like, geez, I can't, you guys wouldn't believe the trouble it took.
The amount of debris.
Yeah, that is why this episode has been kind of late. I had to dig myself out of that right there.
It was insane. Godzilla stepped on his car.
It was terrible. And like, insurance doesn't want to cover it. They're like, oh, we don't cover monsters. Like, it does. It says it right there in the policy. You cover monsters.
Yeah. So. Well, they don't want to.
All right. So what's going on, man?
So, first thing on the docket, this is something that was brought to my attention a while ago, and I got to give a shout out to a friend of mine on Discord that called me out for it. Because while I was technically correct, I was actually wrong on a subject that we were talking about. Nathan Fillion. Mm-hmm. He was actually not Nathan Drake. I mean, he was Nathan Drake in the fan film, but it's actually Nolan North that voices Nathan Drake in Uncharted. So I wanted to kind of get that one out of the way, get my apologies out, because, I was like, oh, I was so wrong.
So you just got checked?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Nice.
And I was like, because it took like 2 weeks, honestly, after the first episode came out. And I was like, oh, man, I was wrong on that. I know that. And then just the other night, one of my friends on Discord actually listened to the podcast. He goes, oh, no, everything's great. I love it. It's just, Nathan Fillion wasn't Nathan Drake.
Oh, Nathan Fillion. I love that show.
Oh, my God. It's so
I would
good.
never say his name correctly ever again. I would never say it in a normal tone ever again. Thanks there, Nick Kroll.
Right.
And the cast of Big Mouth for Nathan Fillion.
So stupid.
All right. So what movies have you been watching lately?
So, just watched, I think it was last week, we watched the Snyder Cut of Justice League.
Oh, yes.
And it was 4 hours.
Yes.
And I did not know that.
Yes.
So I actually had to split it up into 2 different days because I had to go to work the next day. And it was like almost midnight. And I'm like, how long is this freaking movie? And I paused it and I'm looking at, where it's got the little bar down there and it tells you how long and everything. And I was like, oh, that's cool. There's only 2 hours left. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to bed. I'm going to watch the rest of this shit tomorrow.
All right. So for me, I watched it too. And I cleared my schedule for this. Because I was one of those people who...
You were smart. You looked ahead and saw how long the movie was.
Right.
I was not.
I was anticipating this because, when HBO Max was first announced, I was like, I might get it just because it's HBO. And they're like, oh, we're going to do the Snyder Cut. I'm like, okay, I'm getting the HBO Max now. I will pay for this. So as the updates are coming out, like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this in 4 parts. Oh, cool. So it's going to be a 4-parter. Yeah, I'm ready for this. And he's all like, no, we're just going to bind it into one, make it a 4-hour movie. Let me go empty out my bowels. I'm going to be here for a moment.
Yeah, like, if I'd have known, like, I wish I'd have done the research going in, but I like to go into movies and TV shows like as cold as possible. Like I might watch 1 or 2 trailers. I don't do a whole lot of research on it before I watch it because I like to be surprised. I don't want to see what's coming.
Oh, yeah, the trailers and stuff. Yeah. All right, so fair warning, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to spoil this. If you haven't watched it, you might want to skip ahead. For everybody else, this is part of the journey. So what do you think of it so far out of the 4 hours?
So out of the 4 hours, my big thing was that there was way, way more backstory and content for the best character in all of DC, The Flash. Don't even give me that look like you smell something that stinks because The Flash is the best, okay?
I would say he's the most overpowered.
Oh, he really is. Like, he is low-key the most powerful Justice League member, and people do not realize it. I mean, Batman's superpowers, I've got money.
Yeah, but I mean, for comic book nerds, everybody know that the strongest person is Superman, and in Superman Prime. Well, Superman Prime is the most strongest character in there, but yeah, everybody knows that Superman's strong because he's holding everything. He's holding back, but Flash is stupidly overpowered because he's like, yeah, you know what? I screwed up. Let's just rewind time.
Yeah, it's like Barry. Please stop sticking your dick in the timeline. And then Barry's just like, is this the timeline? Pardon me. I got to get something out here real quick.
It's like, dang, I forgot to pay my water bill last week. Be right back.
Hey, water bill's oh, crap, everyone's dead.
It's like, geez. All right, so one thing I loved about it was the Snyder Cut.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I watched the original Justice League, and watched the Josh Whedon. You watched the Josh Whedon, and it was so much. It just left you empty. Like
it did. It felt like there was a lot left out. Like the way it was just kind of like jumping around almost,
and there's really nothing was explained. Oh. And it's just you're like,
yeah, you're just okay. This happened. Like I love the redesign of Steppenwolf too.
Yeah, like
Steppenwolf looks so much better in the Snyder Cut than he did in the Whedon version.
Yeah. So with Steppenwolf, he has like retractable armor and everything. So
yeah, he's
like
got like spikes that come out.
Yeah, spikes, metallized, armor that retracts. Like you even show how badass this armor was. Like he had like 3 arrows sticking out of his body, and he flexes his armor.
I was about to say he just kind of like flexed,
chops it off, and it was like, oh yeah,
that's cool. I thought that was cool.
You're a big bad.
Oh, what was this one rated?
This one was R.
Okay, yeah, because they definitely earned the R there towards that final fight scene with Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that they removed. Okay, so I know this is going to sound weird, but I'm kind of happy that they removed that family that was just out there for no reason other than to give Barry something to do.
Right.
And I deep down, I was like, that is so dumb.
All right, so let's reset it here. All right, so with the Snyder Cut, you had a more detailed story.
Yes.
Right. So we all know that when Superman died at the end of the Batman vs Superman movie, when Doomsday killed him.
Did we just become best friends? I'm sorry.
When Doomsday
that was so bad.
killed him, when his last final scream woke the mother box, so that added to the previous Batman vs Superman movie when he was all like, when our bald-headed friend Lex Luthor was all like, oh, he's been awakened. They've been awakened. You're like, what's been? How did he wake? Again.
Speaking of our bald-headed friend Lex Luthor, I was surprised that there was not more of him in the Snyder Cut. Like his role basically didn't even change from the Whedon to the Snyder Cut version.
Yeah, he wasn't even a central player on that one, though.
Yeah, I know, but I personally thought that there would be more because I was like, oh man, this is a 4-hour movie, I was like, I feel like there's going to be more Lex Luthor, and there wasn't, which is okay. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It threw me off because I was expecting, maybe something else, a little bit more, but whatever.
Yeah. So Superman dies.
Yep.
The mother boxes get awoken, and this is what made it even cooler now. So with the Sweden cut, there's 3 mother boxes out there.
Mm-hmm.
Steppenwolf just ends up just getting them. And you're like, oh, so he just happened to just find all 3. Boom, hey, I got me a Jangle, making me these little Lego blocks. You're like, how? There's like no buildup of, what's dread? Suspense. Yeah.
There was no buildup, no anticipation of it.
Right. There was nobody to really challenge him.
Yeah.
Like that what made you mad about Steppenwolf just got everything so easily. And you're like, oh yeah, we're going to have this big battle at the end. With the Snyder Cut, you got to see, the Amazons, doing work. They're like, oh, we got our mother box. We're finna protect this mother box. Ain't nobody getting this mother box.
The Atlanteans
were like, nobody's getting this mother box. That was kind of, that one was kind of.
But they still put up a fight.
Yeah.
Except for the Justice League. they didn't. I felt like they didn't even put up a fight for the mother box. It was just like, oh, okay, here it is.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
He just shows up, takes it, and was like, well, then again, it was kind of
because you had Cyborg's dad. Like he did more than the Justice League did to stop him from getting the damn mother box.
Well, in their defense, they kind of took the mother box out of protection to use it to wake up Superman.
Yeah,
and they kind of left it there, like as they went and fought Superman.
You figure like they'd have been like, hey, could one of y'all keep an eye on this real quick while we're fighting Superman? Because, this is only the last piece of this is literally the last MacGuffin that the big bad needs in order to start, the apocalypse. I'm just saying.
Here's what got me, like comic book me, my comic book mind would have been like, hey, in the comic books, Flash would have been like, they would have been like, yo, Flash, get that run as fast as you can. And they'd be like, all right, whereas,
yeah, exactly. Like Flash could have literally kept it moving to where Steppenwolf couldn't get it. But instead, they're trying to fight Supes.
Ugh.
I will say this, though. I was very excited to see the black costume for Superman.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I thought that was very cool.
It was great to see the black suit. That was really dope. So the whole movie, like the whole Snyder Cut movie, 4 hours of just details of backstories. You got why the Atlanteans and the Amazonians were like, they didn't like each other, but we cool. But, we for this one time to take on Steppenwolf, we'll come together. Other than that, exactly. You do you, we do we, everybody be happy and on it.
The humans definitely kind of dropped the ball, though.
The humans' solution to hiding the mother box is buried in a hole in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Dig a hole, dig a hole.
It's like, mother box go down the hole.
Basically.
That's what But the Justice League Snyder Cut was amazing.
To wrap up the whole Snyder Cut thing, though, and once again, this goes back to spoilers, don't listen. I loved Apocalypse Flash. Like, you actually got to see the Apocalypse Flash suit.
Oh, yeah.
And that, because I'm a big Flash fan, and that for me was like, oh, yeah, we got it,
All of them, what makes us all, Darkseid was a menace. Yeah. Like, Darkseid was that dude. He was only there for a couple of scenes, but he had more impact to me than Thanos did, in those movies.
Because not only did you have Darkseid, I was very, very happy to see, what's her name?
Granny Goodness?
Yeah, Granny Goodness you had there, and then, her sidekick, the dude that was talking to him the whole time through
it's like Saeed or something like that.
Yeah, I forget. But Granny Goodness, I was like, oh, man, it's about to go down.
So I am also part of the group that's yelling, hey, DC, keep the Snyderverse going, because, dude, I would have loved to see Deathstroke.
Oh, yeah.
And Batman throw hands.
Well, here's my philosophy on that, and this is something because, obviously we watch a lot of movies and TV. DC, their animated stuff tends to be above and beyond just leagues better than their live action stuff. In fact, it's above and beyond better than the MCU's animated stuff.
Way beyond. Yeah, they animated.
And yet the MCU's live action stuff is leagues above and beyond better than DC's live action stuff.
I have a theory.
Okay.
My theory is the DC, the DC live action executives, they manage in the style of the Ford Motor Company management. Okay. You remember when Ford, whenever somebody had to do, let's say they want to do door handles.
Yeah.
For the Ford Escort.
Yeah. For the Ford whatever.
Yeah. They had to go through like 17 committees.
Yeah.
Just for that.
Exactly.
That's how I feel that happens at Warner's and at DC.
I think you're right on that one. Whereas Marvel has more of a direct approach of
Kevin Feige,
just run that. All right. We're just going to leave you alone. Just do your thing.
It's like, hey, here's the budget. Go make movies. Kevin's like, all right, here's what we're going to do.
Are you ready for some oops all bangers?
Whereas DC's all like, we got to put this committee if we want to use Cyborg or not.
Yeah.
Do we really want to introduce Robin? Like, we've been through, 20, 30 years of Batman, and we haven't had We had one Robin.
Yeah, we've not really had a Jason Todd yet. We've not had
Damien.
Damien. We haven't even had Damien yet. I mean, we've hardly had any Dick Grayson.
We had one Dick Grayson, which shout out to Chris O'Donnell. I was happy that he was able to keep a career going. I was like, this dude is a star. I was thinking he was going to be the next big thing, but he's a big TV star.
So, next on the docket, have you seen Godzilla vs. Kong?
Yes, and I lived it. No, not really.
Wait, you were lying to us that whole time?
I was acting. I wasn't lying. I was
acting.
That's
a fancy word for lying, right?
Yeah, I lied to you. I'm sorry.
Damn it.
I'm sorry. But yeah, the Godzilla vs. Kong movie was pretty good. It gave Kong a lot of backstory.
Yes.
Which was pretty good. I mean, even Kong had his own movies. This one gave him a backstory and let him know, like, okay, this is why he's an alpha. He's an alpha, kaiju,
Yeah.
And Godzilla, respected him. He whooped his ass too.
He said, as long as you stay on this island, I ain't gonna mess with you.
Godzilla rolled up on him, fought him in the water, won that battle. He's like, yeah, this is my house. This is my house. This is my turf,
I think our biggest thing about the whole thing, and this is something, because my girl is a huge Godzilla fan. Mm-hmm. Loves Godzilla. Mm-hmm. And the previous movie, if you remember, there was a lot of like, oh, let's talk about these people's backstories and stuff like that. And the whole time our girl's sitting there going, listen, we don't come to Godzilla to learn about the people that he's going to crush. We just want big monster. Right. She's like, we want big monster fight. That's it. We don't care about the humans. Let the monsters fight. Yeah. And we got way more of that in Kong versus Godzilla. Yes. And it was awesome.
Yeah. Godzilla came through wrecking stuff. King Kong helped wreck stuff. It was a great kaijus just just leveling cities. Oh,
yeah.
This is what you pay money for. This is like, and the best part about it.
This is Big Monster 101.
Yeah. And here's what I actually love about it is this Godzilla's been so good that Toho doesn't have to kill this Godzilla off.
Really?
Yeah. So fun fact. Here's a fun fact. People probably already know this, but Toho, the company that created and owns the original Godzilla.
Right.
So what they do is, if the American version of Godzilla is terrible, then they'll turn around, make a movie where the original Godzilla kills off this Godzilla. They say he's an imposter and they kill off this Godzilla.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
That is news to me.
Godzilla 2000.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he got killed off.
When did he get killed off?
Like after the Godzilla 2000 with Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, thank you. That's who I was trying to remember. Matthew Broderick was in it. Right. And then you had the little baby Godzillas.
Right. So after that movie was not a commercial success, Toho was all like, yeah, that's not going to happen ever again. So I think they came out with a Godzilla in like 2003, I want to say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, killed that Godzilla off.
Nice.
So anytime,
which it deserved to be.
So anytime,
well, in my opinion,
there is a Godzilla, and it doesn't
embody their vision of Godzilla.
Yeah, that doesn't show strength, power. It's like, oh, I'm here to protect the Earth, and I'm gonna go back, rest.
Yeah.
If there's a Godzilla to come out and just suck, then Toho will make another movie just to kill off that Godzilla.
I feel like this Godzilla was literally looking at Kong going, King Kong ain't got shit on me. I know, joke was bad. I'm sorry, but I couldn't help it.
But no, to be honest with you, in the movie, Godzilla was looking at Kong like, yo, you ain't shit. And then when Kong won the second round, he's like, all right, okay, all right. I see you, all right.
Yeah, it's like, all right, respect.
And then in the third fight, we got Mechagodzilla, which was kind of cool. I was like, oh, snap, we got Mechagodzilla. Yes, this is pretty awesome. But then, they teamed up, had their battle. And then at the end of it, there was no more talk. There was no more, Godzilla and Kong about to do it again. Godzilla looks at him like, yo, you're on my respect today.
Yeah.
I'm out. Like, I'll see you later.
Respect.
Like, peace. And he just goes off. Do what he does.
Do Godzilla things, yeah.
Kong's all like, cool, all right. I'll see you next time. Hopefully we won't be battling it out, but cool, If you do come back around here, I got these hands for you.
Yeah. He really
because Kong was laying hands on him.
One implication, though, that the movie kind of set for that I felt like they needed to kind of touch on more was when they went, into the Hollow Earth. Everybody get your tinfoil hats on. Hollow Earth theory.
Let's go.
When they went down there, Kong gets the axe that's made of like a Godzilla scale. And if you look at it's because when they first walk into that place, it's like a cathedral. Mm-hmm. There's rows of chairs of everything, and kind of a makeshift, throne-esque type place for him to sit and everything, and all that stuff. And I was like, does this mean that Kong and them had like an advanced civilization at some point and then died off? What were the implications of that? Right.
Like, if, again, DC, Warner, well, not DC, Warner's, if you want to make money, you will expand on this monster verse, and you'll allow, we'll allow some Middle Earth, some Hollow Earth.
Because it is Warner doing the Godzilla movies now, right?
Yeah, Warner owns that property.
I mean, aside from Toho.
Yeah, Toho is the owner, creator. Warner's...
They're the final word.
They're, I guess we want to call it licensed. They licensed it out.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. So Warner does it for the American side. So, again, if Warner wants to make a stupid amount of money, which, looking at what they've done...
There's the opportunity is there, and I hope they expand on both Kong and Godzilla. And I know when they announced the movie, I couldn't help but make the joke. Like, you got Godzilla fighting Kong, and Kong's on the ground, and Godzilla's looking at about to hit him with the atomic breath. Now, keep in mind, this was like months before the movie came out. And Godzilla's looking down on him, about to hit him with that atomic breath. And Kong just goes, "Save Mothra." And then Kong, Godzilla looks back at him, "Why did you say that name?"
Martha. Why'd you say that name? Martha.
God, that movie is so bad.
His companion's name, Martha.
It's so bad. Anyways.
You know what? I just thinking back to it. I'm mad at Josh Whedon.
Why?
Watching the Snyder Cut, I'm mad.
Technically, everyone's mad at him right now. But anyways.
The reason why I'm mad is because, after you watch the Snyder Cut of Wonder Woman, and you're like, Josh Whedon had this, looked at it and said, "Nah, this sucks," and cut it.
Yeah. Like, why?
I'm sorry.
Anyways. So.
You been watching new TV?
Yes. We've been, because we don't actually have any actual TV at my house. Like, all the TV we have at my house is Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, HBO Max, the standard streaming services. Well, my girl's house sitting for her sister because they're out of town for Easter weekend. Surprise, we're doing this on Easter Day.
You're ruining the illusion.
We're doing it for the love of the game. And so, there are some shows that aren't streaming. So we will go over to her sister's house and watch them. Well, sister's out of town. So we went over and I got to catch up a little bit on Resident Alien.
Yo.
So I don't know if I told you, did you watch some of it?
I watched some of it, yes.
I love how the kid is the only one that can see he's an alien. And the episode we watched, was it last night or the night before? I forget which. Was the one where the mayor invites Alan Tudyk's character over to the house for dinner. And then the kid's like just being all nice to him and everything. And he's like, "What are you doing, you little asshole? Why are you being nice to me?" It was great. It was great.
The Resident Alien. That is a really great show. Alan Tudyk, amazing. We talked about it last time. He's still amazing. No matter what, his dude is amazing. That show is great. Definitely watch it. It's on Sci-Fi, correct?
Yes, it's on Sci-Fi.
So it's on Sci-Fi. You got the Sci-Fi app, or you got.
We need to get the does Sci-Fi have on any streaming service?
Probably on
#
Peacock.
not sponsored by Sci-Fi.
Probably on Peacock.
I don't have that one.
Yeah, Peacock.
But another show that just came back out, like a brand new season. Did you watched Rick and Morty, right?
Yes.
So you know they made another show called Solar Opposites.
I've seen commercials of it.
Yes. So the second season just came out. Basically, basic understanding of the show is you have two aliens, they're clones. Well, they say they're clones, but they're like their kids, and a pupa. And they crash land on Earth. And their whole job is to try to, because like their planet got destroyed. So they're trying to create and terraform another planet for their species to propagate. And the pupa is like this little, looks like, man, just look up the pupa real quick. I'm trying to figure out a way to describe it. It's like an oversized grub looking thing.
Is it like does it remind you of like Teen Titans, the little Silky?
Kind of like Silky, yes.
From the Teen Titans.
No, you're right. It's just a little bit bigger. So you've got, the pupa, and then they honestly kind of go native. And, with Justin Roiland at the helm, it's going to be nuts.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, the second season just dropped. It's on Hulu. You should definitely give it a watch.
All right. So I have been watching this Fox new show called The Great North.
The Great North. What is that?
Great North.
Sell me on it.
So it is from the creators of Bob's Burger.
Ah, yes. Love Bob's Burger.
All right. So you'll definitely love this one, right?
Okay.
So the cast of The Great North has the man with the voice from Parks and Recreation.
Tom Selleck?
No. Parks and Recreation.
Chris Pratt?
The one who does all the woodwork.
Chris Pratt?
Not Chris Pratt.
That's literally, I've never actually seen Parks and Rec.
Oh, no.
He's literally the only person I know from that show. And I know that if the same friend from Discord is listening to this, he's probably going to roast me later for not seeing Parks and Rec. In fact, I expect to get roasted by quite a few people for not seeing Parks and Rec.
I would join you in that roast because I didn't watch no Parks and Rec. So
okay, cool. I'm not alone.
So the main character, the man with the voice, the mustache, the woodworking, smells like wood, Nick Offerman.
Oh, okay, Nick Offerman. Yeah, he's good. I like him.
All right, so the story is the show is about Nick Offerman, his character, Beef Tobin. That's his name.
Beef Tobin.
Yeah, he's in Alaska with his family. Just living the Great North.
Right.
And he's there with his older son, played by Will Forte.
Okay.
The Last Man on Earth.
Will Forte, yes. Yeah. No, I love that show too. That show was great.
All right. His older son, Will Forte, who's there with his fiance, Honeybee. I can't place. I know her voice, Honeybee? But I can't. Yeah, that's the name of the fiance, Honeybee.
Is this like Dr. Girlfriend?
No. Actually,
oh my God, I love you.
No. So those two, the son and the fiance met because they through their love of movies.
Okay.
So it's a great fun story. He has his daughter. He has a daughter who's getting her life advice from a constellation made of Alanis Morissette, played by Alanis Morissette.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is amazing.
That's giving me Dogma vibes.
Yes. So Alanis Morissette is giving her life advice while every once in a while referencing, Sinead O'Connor and Lisa Loeb.
But does she ever say it's ironic?
There's a lot of Alanis Morissette jokes in there.
Good.
I love it just because, she knows. Yeah. She knows. She's like, let me throw this out there for my real fans. And it's like, yes. So you have the daughter, and you have of course, it's Bob's Burger universe. So, the youngest kid is always kind of weird.
Oh my gosh, why can't I remember his name? He's Bob. He's also Archer.
No. His voice has not popped up there.
Okay.
His voice has not popped up. Trust me, you would definitely know if his voice popped up.
Oh, yeah. His voice is iconic. Hold on. I'm going to look him up real quick because I feel like it's straight disrespectful that I forgot his name.
So So it's beef, so Nick Offerman is there with his family, and it's a wholesome show because, like, the family runs a fishing boat, and it's just silly hijinks,
John Benjamin.
The daughter, she's an artist, and she has a part-time job at the mall working for the photo center, because it's a small town in Alaska.
Right.
The whole city, the whole town is just weird because it's called Lone Moose. And the reason the town got that name is because the settlers literally thought there was only one moose in that wilderness, but they didn't realize after they killed that moose that there was more moose. There was more moose in the area. So they always thought they were seeing
the plural
same
of moose. Meese? Mooses?
Mooses?
Mouse? No,
probably mooses.
Mooses? Moose?
Mooses. So yeah, so the town. So when they established the town, they called it Lone Moose because they always saw one moose and they assumed it's the same moose until they killed that moose and realized, oh snap, there's other mooses in the area. So the Great North.
I will definitely have to check that one.
It's like it is really like Bob's Burger except in Alaska and snow. The comedy is amazing. Will Fornette and was a Dulcie Salone. I'm sorry if I messed your name up. Who plays Honeybee? Who plays the fiance? Those two. The chemistry with those two is just amazing. The jokes are just flying. All the jokes are great. There's nothing dragging. There's nothing,
There's no lulls in it.
Right. It's just pure silliness.
Nice.
And of course, you got to remember it's Nick Offerman. So, everything's with that dead serious voice. You're like, oh, I just really want to have some pie today. You're like, sure, Dad, let's get you some pie. Yes. Let's get some mousse, some chocolate mousse. Oh, sure. Like down at the store? No, I just want some regular mousse. Yeah, let's go down to the store and get some mousse. And, and now this adventure about getting some chocolate mousse from the store, and you had all these stories branching off from that. So it is funny. It really is funny. Me describing it does not do justice because you have to sit there and you're going to love every moment of it because the kids are fun. Judy, the daughter, who's like, I guess you might call her the de facto lead, is hilarious. Nick Offerman, it's Nick Offerman. You know what you're going to get with him.
Exactly.
The deadpan delivery is great. And then lastly, one of the things they also pull a Bob's Burger. You know how at the beginning, during the theme song?
Yeah,
the store.
Yeah, the store changes names every time.
Right. So if you watch The Great North, and there's like 6 episodes so far, there's a tugboat in the background with a different name. You got to watch because there's some great puns.
All right.
There's some great
That's
puns.
what I'm talking about. I love that kind of stuff.
And then lastly, in the wrap up for The Great North, they have a catchy song. The theme song is very catchy. And one of the things they do in the song, they go, yep, up, yep. So when you listen to it, it's going to get stuck in your mind because it's not like it's like a rhythmic up. It's not rhythmic. It catches you and it gets stuck in your brain and you're going to be randomly sitting somewhere going up, 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 up. Yeah. It's
almost like what was it, the Lego movie? This song's going to get stuck inside your head.
Oh, yeah, this song, everything is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not as bad as that song. That song was that. Yeah, that got in people's head.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and move us on into, our legacy segment. How strong is your legacy? And this episode, it's your turn. So who is your person?
All right. I want to talk about the legacy of Brendan Fraser.
Oh, I love Brendan.
I want to say Brendan Fraser is the perfect lead guy in Hollywood.
Really? The perfect lead guy.
I want to say the perfect lead guy. Brendan Fraser is money.
All right, sell me on it.
If you throw Brendan Fraser's name on a poster, he could be third billing. You're going to be like, bet I'm going to go see that.
Well, yeah, but for a while, he did kind of drop out of fame, and kind of almost disappear from Hollywood. I want to say it was like a back injury or something, and he couldn't do, like the high-flying action stunts and stuff that he was known for, in, what was it, The Mummy, things like that.
Yeah. Well, Brendan Fraser, like, that he's back. There was a lull. He did have a lull. But that just shows how great he is that even with that break, I want to say it's like a good almost.
It was a few years.
I want to say almost like 5-7 years.
It was quite a while.
A Brendan Fraser list, and that was like the most saddest time in Hollywood because of Brendan Fraser.
Very depressing.
But that's how good this guy is, because right now you can currently catch him on Doom Patrol, on DC's Doom Patrol.
Yes, like when I first started watching it, because like I said, I like to go into things cold, and you were the one that actually told me to watch it. You were like, you need to go watch Doom Patrol, and I'm like, I don't know. You're like, just watch it. So I was like, okay. So we're sitting there and I'm watching Doom Patrol, and I see this robot coming out. Motherfucker, and I'm like, hold on. That voice sounds so familiar. I'm like, I know that voice. And then he starts talking again. I'm like, oh my God, it's Brendan Fraser.
Yes. Brendan Fraser, I want to say he's the de facto star of that show, because Brendan Fraser carries it. He is the focal point. He is so great.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like, the other characters on the show, they're definitely good. I mean, what's the pilot's name?
I know what you're talking about.
Because he's probably another one of my favorite characters. He's probably definitely second favorite character under Brendan Fraser, because his character, he experiences a lot of growth, and he's also just so down. Yeah.
So the pilot, also known as Larry Trainer, played by Matt Bomber, who's been in some stuff too. Matt's been in some good stuff. So Larry has really grown in that show. Like, he goes from being super depressive to, like, all right, he's almost a functioning member of society. Yeah. But Brendan Fraser and the interaction with Brendan Fraser and Crazy Jane, played by Diane Guerrero, those two play off so well with each other. It is like, again, Brendan Fraser is just that great. Now, the only downside to Brendan Fraser is every role he plays, he looks like the doofy man-child.
Exactly.
But he has the appearance of
I feel like you're right. He does kind of have that appearance. I mean, if you look at me, you're like, oh, look at that dork. But he kind of got typecast into that, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But seeing him in this is so good.
Like, even in his serious stuff, like what is it? Bringing the Poison, I think it was called.
I know there was one,
The Poison Rose.
Okay,
so that was a serious.
See that one, actually.
Yeah, that was a serious joint. And even in that one, when you're supposed to hate his character, you still loved him, because Brendan Fraser is just that great of an actor.
And like in The Scout, that was, I want to say, kind of serious. Yeah. Like, it was definitely, a comedy.
Right. So
I would say probably in the dramatic comedy range, maybe.
So with The Scout. All right. So The Scout, Brendan Fraser was a baseball player from like a third world country, right? Mm-hmm. He was like this talented pitcher found by this scout. And of course, you got to go through these trials and tribulations to get him from his country to America to get him in the baseball league, to get him to, I think it was the Yankees. Yeah, it was trying to get him to the Yankees. Yeah, so Brendan Fraser playing this guy who can't speak English, who just wants to play baseball, and the movie is getting carried, by everybody else, but Brendan Fraser still shined in this role. Mm-hmm. It gave you, like I said, he's not being funny. It's not his comedic role. He's not supposed to carry it comedically, but he still shined through with his dramatic performance.
Yes.
He's still silly, he still had his silly moments.
I think my favorite silly moment of the movie was when he was throwing the plates out the window at the reporters. He's like, plates. That was definitely an older movie. Probably not a lot of people remember that one if they're younger. Definitely give it a watch, though. I feel like it's worth it.
The Scout is really good. Like, you want to go back in his catalog. He had one, School Ties. So probably one of my favorite Brendan Fraser movies. There's two. I have two that are literally like at the top, and neither one of them are The Mummy. But there's these two Brendan Fraser movies that stand out to me because I love him as an actor. The first one is Airheads. Of course, yeah. I would say that one.
The Lone
made him the star.
Rangers.
That one, I would say that movie was the star maker.
How do they pluralize that? It's lone. Like, I don't get it. Yeah, no, that movie, because like the cast in that movie, yes, you had Brendan Fraser in it, but you also had
Adam Sandler,
Steve Buscemi, and
Joe Montana.
No, who was Adam Sandler was Pip, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. But those were the three.
Chris Farley.
Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot he was in that.
Chris Farley.
You just brought back so many memories.
Even Michael Richards, aka Kramer, was in this movie.
Yeah.
Like you had a lot of big names in this movie, but Brendan Fraser stood head and toe.
Oh yeah,
head and shoulder above. Like you remember, you're in this movie with Adam Sandler. Like
I don't think he was quite the powerhouse he was yet.
No, he really was not. But
Steve Buscemi was definitely established by then. Chris Farley was established by then.
And Chris Farley was your moneymaker. He was your
you had Beverly Hills Ninja, things like that. You know,
and of course you had the distinguished Joe Montana. I just like saying his name because he has that.
He was ponytail guy, right?
Yeah, no, he wasn't a ponytail guy. He was the DJ.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Who was ponytail guy?
He's in a lot of stuff. It's gonna.
But he definitely made like a really good like quote unquote bad guy. I mean, because he wasn't really a bad guy, but he was definitely a douchebag, and he definitely did that character in a way that you love to hate him.
Yeah. What was his name?
But it
was a Michael McKeenan.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, David Arquette was in this movie too.
There's a lot of people.
There was a lot of people.
That movie was stacked.
Ernie Hudson.
But my second one, like that's a tie for first in terms of Brendan Fraser movies. Is the other one is Blast from the Past. That one's my guilty pleasure. I don't care what anyone says. I love that movie.
Blast from the Past was fun. I would say Airheads, definitely. School Ties. School Ties, now, with School Ties, I believe this one was, because he did like 2 movies about private schools. I think it was Glory Days and School Ties. Where he played like, I think he was like a Jewish guy going to a Catholic school he was a Jewish guy going to a Catholic school to play football.
Okay.
All right. And, all he wants to do is just live a normal life, get an education, play some football, get to school, get a degree and, live his life. Yeah, and of course he has to deal with, all the pitfalls of being Jewish in the Catholic schools and people hate them and all that stuff. But he was so good in a serious role. Again, wasn't a comedic.
Yeah, there's not a lot of serious roles with him.
And I
feel like it's kind of a waste.
He's really good in his serious roles. He was really, really good. So, other ones, of course, you got like Monkey Bone, Dudley Do Right. His best one was George of the Jungle.
Yes. The first one I can really remember him in, and like this is like stretching way, way back. That was like, before he like exploded, it was like Encino Man.
Encino Man, yeah. I think he stole that movie from Pauly Shore.
Thank God he did.
Because Encino Man was Pauly Shore, and was it Pauly Shore and Stephen Baldwin in that one too?
I think so. Well, the thing about like movies like that is, I like to put them in a category I like to call didn't age well. Because you ever go back and like think like, oh man, I used to love that movie. I'm gonna go back and watch it again, and then you do, and all the nostalgia goes away, and you're like, wow, this movie sucks. Why did I watch this? Why did I have such fond memories of this dumpster fire? Which is basically Pauly Shore's catalog.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Pauly Shore movies are like Adam Sandler movies now.
Yes.
You love them.
I think you might be right.
You love them, but you don't want to admit them out loud that you love them.
Yeah. But I can tell you right now, I can't think of anything that Pauly Shore was in that I like today as an adult.
Jury Duty and In the Army Now.
Ugh.
That is the only two I can sit there like Jury Duty and In the Army now because
is literally the only thing I can watch with him because Brendan Fraser's in it.
But again, Brendan Fraser, I'm telling you, Brendan Fraser is the best, one of the best male leads in Hollywood. You put his name on a poster, you say he's in this movie, he's money.
Okay.
He is money.
All right, then. So, for that now, you know what we got to do now? We have to, decide if he's worthy enough for one of our 4 categories. So, category number 1, this is the absolute best, Meryl Streep Award. Category number 2, crazy and diverse. This is going to be your Cage Award. You know, we're talking about Nick Cage. Number 3, just talked about him. You love him, but you don't want to admit it in public. The Sandler Award. And then category 4, the Kennedy Award. Terrible. It's a dumpster fire. Burn that thing.
All right. I'm going out on a link here. I'm going to put it like this.
All right.
I think Brendan Fraser is in the Meryl Streep category. He is that great of an actor.
Listen, I love Brendan Fraser. I truly do, but I do not think he belongs in the Streep Award.
I strongly,
you know what? Hold on.
Squarely believe he's up there with Meryl.
Here's what I'm going to do today. All right. This is a one-off thing. I'm never going to do this again until I do it again. I want to create a new category. I'm going to call it the Streep Cage Award. Because for me, he's definitely in the Cage category. But then every time I think about it, I'm just like, no, I love Brendan Fraser. He's awesome.
I say he's in the Streep Award because I say he's in Meryl Streep. Now, everybody knows Meryl Streep is like the epitome of great acting.
She sets the bar.
Right.
She is the standard.
Brendan Fraser is in there. He doesn't have to be the leading
You're saying
role.
Brendan Fraser is S tier.
Yes. He does not have to be the leading man in the show, the TV show, or the movie for it to still draw, for it to still capture people's attention. And he doesn't even have to be funny, silly, man-childish to get everything going. And you're still invested in his character. That's why I think Brendan Fraser's up there with Meryl Streep.
No, that's a really good argument, man. Like, good on you. That's a good argument.
Now, I'm telling you, go look at this man's resume and you go watch some of his movies and TV shows and you're like, yo, Brendan Fraser is really good. Someone's like, but you still remember him. Yeah. Brendan Fraser will always...
He sticks out in your brain.
All the time. Like, he sticks out in these roles, serious or comedic, even voice acting.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, all right, yeah, Brendan Fraser. Now, I bet you right now you're listening, you're like, really? Nah, he's not that good. Nah. And then you're going to go look at some stuff and you'll be like, oh, man, I really did sleep on Brendan Fraser.
And once again, we're not just talking about the Mummy trilogy. We're talking about like his actual body of work.
His actual body of work. Like if you go look at his body of work, he has done amazing things. Yes. Serious, TV, movies. He has done them all. And he's even done voice acting and, of course, video games, voice acting.
Oh, yeah.
He's good. Brendan Fraser, I'm telling you, is in the Meryl Streep
So
category.
if you're listening to this, Brendan, holler at us on Twitter. We'll bring you on the show. It'll be great. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and let everybody know it's the end of the show. If you need to, please follow us on Twitter. That's the best way to find out what's going on with the show. Secondly, I would say tune in next week because that's what we normally do, but due to logistical reasoning of Godzilla, it may not be next week. So please bear with us. We're working out the logistics. We're trying to get these knocked out as fast as we can. And on that note, goodbye, everybody.